Oops, appointment's probably coming up next hour. Here we go. 5, 4, 3. Take the Wrestling Podcast coming to you on December, I think it's 16th, 2021. I'm your host, Ernest E. Christian, alongside Mike Bernier, Joe Lopez. It is our third to last episode of 2021. Fellas, what's up?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of shitty.
I gotta poop. No, I'm joking.
I mean, you're dodging in and out of the Matrix here in the background.
For me?
No, Joe.
Yeah.
So he's dodging in and out of the Matrix.
We got Sputters McGee.
And we got Sure Shits a lot here, fucking on the other side of it. And I'm just here like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm here. Just want to say happy Thursday.
You are not King of the Throne tonight.
No, I'm
Ernest
not.
is.
Happy birthday to one Mr. Brody Lee. Yeah, other than that, some fun stuff on the show tonight. We're going to talk about some wrestling. I do have some breaking news for the fans of the Take It Thru Wrestling Podcast.
Whoa. Wait. You have what now?
It's soundbite. As announced earlier today in our text group thread, myself and Joe have locked up tickets for AEW Revolution in Orlando. We will not be joined by the third member of Take Three, Ernest, but we will be joined by Craig Horn. Yeah. So we'll have a trios.
Unfortunately, go ahead.
With that, and I'm going to try to get media credential just to troll him even harder.
Yes. Maybe we'll get to meet Jeff Jarrett.
It's bad enough that I'm the biggest AEW fan of this whole fucking thing. Now I can't go to the fucking show. Well, I mean, I can still go to the show, but
you just can't sit with us.
I can't sit with you guys. it's like last year WrestleMania. Can't do it. No. Okay, Mutombo. Anyway,
don't have the time anyway.
No, that'd be cool. We get credential for the fucking show. Be awesome, honestly. But
real shitty.
Yeah. Speaking of shit, I'm joking. Let's get started with the show today. We got a big night. Do we got a big show today?
We always have a Paul White.
I mean, we might have a big show today, but it's going to depend on how many shits you take.
Yeah. Over under right now, set at 2.5 right now.
I will take the over.
Let's get to my topic first.
I'm just betting the overs tonight. I'm betting the overs in the football game. I'm betting the overs on amounts of shit you take.
You know what? You better bet on Pat Mahomes right now on this fucking drive.
Have you ever had to hold your kid on your lap while you pooped?
Yes.
Ew.
Is that a thing that parents do?
If my kid just fucking crashes and burns in the bathroom and then runs to me, I don't think I have much of a choice.
Oh my god.
Luckily for me, I not had that situation, but
well, the night's still young, bud.
No. You dick. Oh god.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Oh. I'm really excited about asking my trivia question. Can we do that first? Let's flush the format. Let's start there.
I'm okay with it. You want to do it now? Mike, you okay with it?
Stop the flush puns. You really gotta stop.
Go on, let's flush the format. Let's start with trivia. I want to do my trivia question.
We're flushing the format. We're shitting out Jeopardy. I mean, what else are we gonna pull out here tonight on Take Three?
Okay, go ahead, shoot out.
Tonight would be a good night to be sponsored by Dude Wipes.
Let me bring up the score sheets here. We are currently at Ernest is at 800, but he's technically negative 1,200 from his 2,000. Joe is back in positive numbers. He's at 300, and I am currently reigning, defending, and undisputed head of the table with 2,700 units.
Acknowledge him.
What?
No, what's your fucking question?
I was telling you to ask your question.
You're king of the throne.
You're king of the throne, but I'm king of Jeopardy, bitch.
Okay, so here's my question. Okay, here's the question for this week. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Okay, so you know Jonathan Gresham just became ROH World Champion.
Already lost. Next.
Have faith in yourself. That's such a shitty attitude.
Dude, you forgot. I thought Jonathan Gresham was white until like 3 months ago. So shut up. Remember?
Yes. He said that in our text thread.
Yes.
I didn't pay attention to that. How?
Buddy, he thinks he's white.
I know he is white. He's factually white.
That's what I'm saying.
He's factually
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
You're welcome.
They only have mixed race babies because Lauren is Puerto Rican.
They only have they do not have mixed race babies.
Oh, my wife is Jewish. Are you kidding me?
We've already determined that Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes have had the first ever mixed race baby. Ernest does not have any mixed race children. You're a lying sack of shit.
Have you
I
considered?
digress.
Have you considered putting yourself through a flame chamber?
That'll probably help with the shits.
It might. That is one will like shock your body into just.
We just melted all the shit out of my ass by catching me on fire going through a table. Good job, guys.
Just shock your sphincter closed. It's fine.
Shock. The sphincter.
Shock the sphincter.
Titicaca not filled with boobs and poop.
Shock the sphincter. Oh my god.
We just shocked the sphincter.
You just shocked the sphincter.
And he's drinking water trying to get the shit out of his ass faster.
Oh my god. You're not helping the cause.
No.
Okay. So Jonathan Gresham just became the Ring of Honor World Champion. Possibly the final Ring of Honor World Champion. We're all a little confused by that.
He's defending it on tonight or tomorrow night against AJ Gray at Game Changer Wrestling in a Pure Rules match.
I love that.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Okay. So back in around, I don't remember the exact year. I want to say 2010. I could be wrong about that. Okay.
Definitely lost this guy.
It might have been 2011. Anyway, it might have been 2012. I'm not going to look it up. Jonathan Gresham, when he first won the CZW World Championship, Combat Zone Wrestling.
Jesus.
Okay, I got to look this up. Hold on. Okay, pause. Wait, I just got to make sure I have the verbiage of this right. Because, like, I want to make sure I get the question right.
Come on, you bum.
I'll be
Not you.
Oh, okay.
Good throw.
Don't be rude.
Okay, hold on. I just gotta go to his wiki.
Oh, not the wiki.
I'm going to the wiki. The wiki. What? Okay. Okay, we're here.
Oh my.
We're here. Hold on. We're coming. Okay.
Like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
Okay. So, in 2016,
2011, 2012, 2011, 2016.
Jonathan Gresham was the CZW World Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
He lost the belt to this current NXT roster member. Who did he lose the CZW World Championship to?
Been in Combat Zone.
Okay, so wagers.
I'm gonna bet $400 Biden bucks.
400 BBs.
400 Biden bucks.
You don't get in first place by overbetting ones you don't know the answer to, so I'm gonna put 100.
Okay.
I know, but it's still the last show of the year, so fuck it. Let's just go for broke, like literally broke.
All right. What's your answer,
Cameron Grimes.
Michael?
I'm trying to actually think.
Like who was on the CZW roster?
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm trying to go through right now, because like there's obviously people like that I can rule out just off the top of my head. Like, oh, I know Kyle O'Reilly was in CZW, but he's not technically part of the NXT roster anymore.
Right.
So it's like I can cross him out. I can cross out a couple other guys. God, Cameron Grimes sounds like a good guess, but I don't know if he was ever CZW World Champion.
Close to it sounds like a good guess. It means I already I feel good about my chances. You know I'm probably wrong.
Touchdown Travis Kelce and Mike gets the over.
Good job. See, no faith in Patrick Mahomes, fucker.
Now let's see if you get this question right.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
You're gonna make him shit himself.
Why is your Lake Titicaca not filled with boobs and poop?
You can do this.
What, poop? Yeah, I can do that.
Fuck, man. God damn it.
I poop too much.
I know he didn't wrestle in CZW, so it's like I don't want to use that person because I know it's not the right answer.
Come on, you do it. Take a guess. You got this.
I'm just trying to map out the last like one or two people in my head that I think could be in it. Oh, who is Joe Gacy?
That is correct.
Let's go.
It is Joe Gacy.
My
Nicely done.
I was saying I had to just weave it out through my head.
That was good. That was good.
So Ernest is now at
Minus
400.
Minus 1,200.
Yeah. You're at negative 1,600 for the actual event.
Hey.
Joe stays at 300. I go back to 2,800 after dropping from last week.
Nice.
I would see. Okay, so the name that I kept coming back to, and then we can move on from this.
Okay.
Obviously, I mapped out Tommaso Ciampa because Ciampa was never the CZW World Champion.
Oh.
So I was able to cross him out. But the name I kept going back to was Timothy Thatcher.
Oh,
and
that would have been a good guess.
And I was like, he was the Evolve champion for like 700 fucking years, but I don't remember him ever winning the CZW World title. And that's whenever I was just like, okay. And I started going through the 2.0 guys. Obviously, not fucking Jeep Wagoneer. Obviously, it's not Braun Beaker.
Right.
Beaker.
Grayson Waller looks like Mr. Touchdown, and Mr. Touchdown was never in CCW either. So that's when I was just like, man, like, what the fuck? And then I was just like, ooh, this one just popped into my head. So
Nicely done.
Okay, so now we got out of the way, the little trivia. First topic, mine. Kevin Owens is staying in WWE. The internet community was pretty fucking. There's a lot of mixed feelings about that one because I mean, if you go back to like back in late summer, there were rumors about him, his contract expiring in January, and that he based on the fact how he's being used or misused by WWE, that his days were numbered with the company, of course. And every writer was assuming, he'll be back as Kevin Steen in AEW and all that, and that was the narrative for the last 3-4 months. Up to last week, we're hearing that Kevin Owens will be in AEW at some point. This was a shocking blow to a lot of people. And I think for more than anything else, my annoyance is this idea that these quote unquote journalists and these fans and think they know more than they need to and all that. First, let me say for the record that I'm actually glad, especially now the fact that I'm actually that he's being used now, like creatively well in the last like month. This heel turn and all that, him and Biggie going at it. I never had a chance to actually watch Kevin Owens as a heel in real time because when I started watching in 2019, he already turned face again.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, I watched his run as a heel, prior to that, in hindsight and whatnot. But it's been I've enjoyed this last like month and a half of KO, and it got me thinking. Well, maybe he does stay long term because my thought was he was probably it was 80-20 he's going to leave to WWE to go to AEW. Then I started you see the storyline he's doing with Seth and Big E. I'm like, well, being used in a pretty top spot here.Maybe it's more.
You're trying to say you're 80% full of shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm full of Titicaca. No, but seriously, I actually let me just say this for record. I'm actually glad that he's staying. Because like I said, the way he's being used now, it's great. And I think also too, you look at AEW's roster right now, it's just bloated. Where do you fit him? Like seriously, where do you fit him? We've been saying this for the last like 5 months now. Even with CM Punk coming and Brian Danielson coming, like these guys are going to find a place there because they're top guys. But a guy like Kevin Owens, I mean, while he's obviously great, can he actually fit that roster and be used week to week on Dynamite? I don't know. And with the way they're using him now in the last month, and WWE's also already shared a portion of the roster the last couple months now with all these layoffs and stuff. He's actually found a place now. If this is gonna be the KO going forward, I'm okay with it. So I'm actually glad he's staying. To be honest with you. I'm gonna give you thoughts on KO. Your thoughts on the reactions, the dumbass journalists that got it wrong, the dumbass fans that are assaulted for no reason at all, the difference between resign and resign. Another thing I couldn't stand this week on fucking internet. People don't know what the hell that resign and resign means, separating the two. But, so what's your thoughts?
So, okay, I'll start, apparently.
There's 31 seconds left in this game, and I'm really trying to see what happens.
I feel like there's more.
I'm here watching the game also.
Oh, come on!
So,
no flag.
First of all, I too am happy that he is sticking around in WWE. I think that It's obvious, like you said. Look, there was a moment very recently where he was clearly not being used correctly, creatively. He was in a go nowhere feud with Baron Corbin, and then he was Happy Corbin. And then he was out there just stunning Akira Tozawa for no good reason, like for a couple of weeks. And they were just doing nothing with him. And now you're right. Now he's in the main feud on Raw. Now he's out there, in a storyline with Seth Rollins, in a storyline with Bobby Lashley, in a storyline with Big E, with the world title in the whole picture. That is being as pushed as you could possibly be. So great for Kevin Owens. I really do love that. Here's why I really love that Kevin Owens is staying in AEW. 2 reasons.
Staying in
WWE. 2 reasons. Number 1, I bet Homeboy's getting paid.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculously getting paid. And honestly, at the point that he is in his career, at the age that he is, at the who knows how long he wants to be doing this for. Maybe he's looking at this as, I don't know how long of a contract he signed, but maybe this is his okay, well, in 5 years, maybe I can retire. Maybe that's the kind of money that I'm getting here. If I invest it right, if I do the right things with it, maybe I don't need to be doing this for the rest of my life. I can get out of the ring. I can live a healthy life. I can take care of my family. All of that. There's no scenario where he didn't make bank in this contract, because I think that from a creative standpoint, he probably would rather be in AEW. It seems like a lot of talent, especially those that are kind of based outside, like in the indie scene, coming up before they ended up in WWE, are more excited about the idea of being in AEW, because at least from a creative standpoint, you seem to have a lot more control, a lot more freedom, a lot more ability to actually influence your storylines, and maybe even a chance just to be involved in something that you're more interested in than what you might be on Raw or SmackDown or anything in WWE. So I think creatively, he probably had his eyes set on AEW in a lot of ways. I think that Vince and them then turned around and offered him a butt ton of money that maybe AEW wouldn't match or couldn't match or didn't even take the opportunity to try to match. And at the end of the day, he chose the money. And you know what? This is a business. You should choose the money. You should 100%. No one is in pro wrestling, especially at this level, just because they love pro wrestling. You know who the guys are that are in pro wrestling because they love pro wrestling? The guys who are working for $20 and a hot dog at your local indie show.
Right.
The guys you've never heard of.
Right.
Those are the guys who wrestle because they love to wrestle. Now, do those guys want to make it to WWE? Do those guys want to be the big stars signing the $1 million contracts? I'm sure most of them do. I'm sure it's an ultimate goal that a lot of them have. But at the end of the day, if they never get there, that's okay too for a lot of them. They're just happy to do it because it's an art to them. Musicians like that, actors like that, every single kind of performance art that's out there. There are people that do it because they just love doing it and they don't actually care about making money off of it or being hugely successful off of it. They'll take that as icing on the cake if it happens, but that's where they're at. They're not at the place where they're trying so hard to become the super success. Once you've reached this point, like Kevin Owens has reached, yeah, you want to make as much money as you can. You're a businessman at that point. You're trying to get the biggest contract you can. You're trying to be the most successful version of yourself that you can be. And that means dollars. That's it. So I'm sure that at the end of the day, Owens got paid a ridiculous amount to continue to stay with the company for whatever reason. Maybe Vince finally does recognize the talent that Owens has. Maybe he's just tired of losing people to AEW and was just like, fuck it, I don't want to lose this one. I lost Adam Cole. I'm probably losing Kyle O'Reilly and losing Johnny Gargano. I've lost Daniel Bryan. I've lost a bunch of guys. I don't want to lose one more. If we have to offer this man $5 million more than what we think he's actually worth, fuck it, let's do it, because we don't need one more of our big names that we've been pushing showing up on the other company. Who knows? All I know is at the end of the day, like I said, I'm going to bet that Kevin Owens is getting paid off of this, and he deserves it. 100%. He deserves it. He's one of my favorite talents, has been for a long time. I hope that he continues getting pushed in WWE. I hope that he continues being involved in great storylines. I hope he has a great match at WrestleMania this coming year. He's had a great match at WrestleMania the last few years, honestly. He's been one of the highlights of every WrestleMania. He had that match at Rollins during the pandemic. He had the match last year with Zayn, which I'm so glad we finally got that on a WrestleMania. Even if Jake Paul was involved in it, it still was fucking awesome. Logan Paul? Which one of them was
I'm trying to forget that part of it, but go ahead.
I forget which Paul it was.
It was Logan Paul.
It doesn't matter.
Was it Logan
Paul?
Paul?
It was shitty.
The one
way.
Paul brother almost got into the fight with the Island Boys.
Right.
Mm.
So I'm just saying, like, I from a fan perspective, as a Kevin Steen fan or Kevin Owens fan, I want to see him continuing to be pushed in WWE. But then from a practical standpoint, I really like this person. I think he's a great individual. I've met him before. I've joked around with him at, like, fan events and signings and stuff. I hope that he is making the most ridiculous amount of money. It's like when an actor wins an Oscar.
I'm glad you said that.
It's wait. It's like when an actor wins an Oscar
Right.
and then the next movie they do is like, it's like Halle Berry winning an Oscar for Monsters Ball and then making Catwoman. And, Catwoman was a big old turd. But at the end of the day...
I thought you were going to talk about Hillary Swank.
No. at the end of the day,
So stupid.
I bet that homegirl got paid for that. So you know what? I'm happy for Kevin Owens if he's getting paid.
Real quick, Mike, jump in here real quick. Corn Dave Meltzer, Owens signed a 3-year deal that includes a no-cut clause and is believed to be worth $2 to $3 million per year.
What's a no-cut clause?
They can't cut him.
So for 3 years, he's definitely in WWE.
You get 3 years.
He is the first person I've ever heard that has a no trade clause.
At least
Guaranteed
publicly.
Contract, they're going to pay me.
At least publicly, yeah.
Do you think that's something that they're going to move in the direction of doing with their contracts?
I mean, we literally got rid of half of our roster. It gives us flexibility to be able to pay the people long term, annually long term for the amount of money that they think that they deserve.
Yep.
With the lack of or the less of fear of potentially losing their job.
Right.
Right.
But you know what? To be fair,
yes,
makes a lot of sense because, like, you're Kevin Owens. You've got
what happens in 6 months if he changes his mind? You're gonna get cut.
Right, exactly, and then you miss your opportunity and possibly go over to AEW because maybe now Tony Khan's like, oh, you chose them over me, fuck you.
Or maybe he's even like, I have no extra space for you because we just brought in Bray, we just brought in whoever else, we brought in some of the ROH guys during the shutdown.
Right.
I ain't got a spot to put you in.
No, he has a family that he loves, and he that's number one priority for him, and I'm happy for him. He did the right thing, in my opinion, based on the optics.
Okay, hold on. I mean, right opinion, wrong opinion is two different. Like it's an opinion of yours that he did the quote right thing. I mean, who knows how much money he would have been making if he had a pro wrestling tee store. I mean, we say like, oh, he made the right decision. Kevin made the decision that he made for whatever decisions that Kevin made, whether they're right, wrong, or indifferent, is irrelevant to the situation. Because at the end of the day, Kevin made the decision that Kevin wanted to make for not only himself, but for his family,
right, it was right
and all those other things.
Right.
As for the internet wrestling community and all that fun bullshit, let's be real here. The fact that we listen to people like Dave Meltzer and even to an extent Sean Ross Sapp. Sean's normally really good with his things.
Correct.
But the fact that we let people dictate the fact that it changed what we believe Kevin was going to do, let alone what Kevin was going to do about going to AEW. At the end of the day, Kevin Owens never made any kind of relevancy talk of AEW. No. Hell, he hasn't even mentioned the Bucks or Kenny or anybody like on social media, where other people have had direct conversations with people and tagged him in it and things like that.
Yep.
Kevin hasn't had any of that. Kevin's just kind of done Kevin. And at the end of the day, when you think about Steen or Owens, whatever you want to call him, I mean, he's always kind of been that way. And he hasn't wanted to ride the coattails of others to get him to the point. Yes, if he would have gone to AEW, he'd have been a perfect fit with the Bucks and Adam to be, quote, Mount Rushmore.
Oh, but although that's not where the storyline seems to be going in AEW anyway.
No, the storyline is going to go to
Undisputed Era.
Kyle showing up, and we're going to get the Era versus the Elite.
Yep.
And that's fine. But yeah, while Kevin could have, quote, fit in well, Kevin also would have been a middle of the road guy for the first however long he was there.
Mm-hmm.
What's he gonna do? Fight Sammy Guevara for the TNT title? So in a 3-month window from the time his contract would potentially be up to the time that he would debut, you want him to go from a world title match to the TNT title versus Sammy Guevara?
Right.
And you guys think that's good for him?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he would have been lost.
You guys are idiots.
He would have been lost in the shuffle.
If Ring of Honor wasn't taking their sabbatical and he could have went there and been the guy there and then dabbled in AEW and dabbled in Impact, like, okay, maybe take that chance to bet on yourself. But him betting on himself is a lot more playing with fire than Johnny. And I'm going to use Johnny as the reference because Johnny used those exact words of betting on himself.
Right.
Logano?
Yes.
For the listeners, I don't know.
No, Carson.
Wow, Travis Kelce just scored, and that's the walk-off win. And somebody I know just won a shit ton of money.
That's amazing.
Ooh.
I'm not divulging that on the air.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, when it comes to Kevin made the best decision, obviously, for himself and his family.
Here's a question for you guys. Who do you see Owens possibly working against at one of the nights of WrestleMania? Now that we know he's sticking around.
Well, we had Seth last year at WrestleMania. Last year,
2 years ago. Yeah, last year was Sammy.
The 2020 cycle.
Yes.
Last was Sammy. I mean, does this Big E thing go into Mania? It ends by Rumble, I'm sure.
I think E walks into Mania as the champion, and I don't think Kevin's in the world title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Maybe Lashley. I don't know, man. It's tough, but I mean, I will say the Raw roster is much more shaped up now than it was before prior to the draft. In my opinion,
I'll say this. I don't know about who he wrestles at WrestleMania, but I think Owens. Nice. I think Owens is a great candidate for winning Money in the Bank next year.
Oh, absolutely.
I think him as Mr. which he's never done as far as I can remember, has he? He didn't win Money in the Bank before. Him as like Mr. Money in the Bank in 2022 and cashing in and becoming world champion again, which I think fully is a possibility. Especially if you know you have this man for 3 years, you know he's sticking around. He's someone you invest in now. He's someone you build the team around.
Man, he's locked in.
Well, to finish the point I was making before Travis Kelce walked it off. Johnny Gargano betting on himself is a lot different than Kevin Owens betting on himself. Johnny never made it full time to the main roster.
No.
Was never getting the same money that those guys in the main roster were getting.
Right.
Johnny gambles on himself knowing that he may make more by dabbling here and there and having his own pro wrestling stuff and doing stuff on Twitch and stuff like that. Like, he's got a shot to do more kind of freelancing than Kevin would if you compare what they may have been making at the time of Johnny's release. Johnny betting on himself makes a little bit more sense from Johnny's perspective because this is an opportunity for Johnny maybe to get the contract that he should have had if he would have been on the main roster. So I think that's the difference between the two of them.
How old was Johnny? How old was he?
34, maybe.
Oh, a little older than I thought. Kevin, Owens 37 years old. 37. I was going to use the age factor too as well.
Well, I mean, I look at it from this standpoint. When some people sign those last contracts, like in sports, like they know that this is their last big contract and they try to get the most out of it if they can. Like, I feel like that's a move here from Owens. It's like he's 37. You know, he might be able to make more money. And Johnny's 34, by the way.
Okay.
He might be able to get, you know, like a couple of like 1 year extension kind of things at the end of it, kind of things like add-ons and, you know, options and stuff like that. But it's like, this is the last one where you're going to get the big money attached to it.
Yes.
I will say this too. Right. I will say this too, also, and maybe AEW makes adjustments going forward. But let's say if Kevin Owens is looking at a 5-year window total, like this career wise, he has better odds of extending his career in WWE because they don't go crazy on bumps and stuff in comparison to AEW.
But AEW does not run house shows.
Right.
Right. It's a good point. That's a good point. I'm just saying the bumps they take on AEW is just fucking ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think that's also because those guys are willing to take those bumps. I think if Kevin comes in and says no,
right.
Okay.
I also sort of feel like it shows you, in a way, sort of the mindset of where Owens might be in terms of his actual career trajectory too. Because I feel like for him, someone who's been around as long as he's been around, because he's been around since like 2005, 2006 or so. He's the kind of guy that goes to AEW at this point and is more or less putting people over and helping to build up to the future and building your Darby Allins and your MJFs and stuff like that. He stays in WWE and he's the guy that's getting built. He's the guy who they've invested years in and the audience knows, and he's really over and he's doing the stunner and yada, yada, yada. And like I said, he's got if you were putting betting odds on people right now, I think he's got one of the top percentage possibilities of being Mr. Money in the Bank in 2022. You know, I think that there's a lot of Kevin Owens could be one of the featured stars of the company in WWE for the next 3 years. I don't know that you can say the same if he had gone to AEW.
I agree 100%. There's definitely space. I was saying that too when news came out that there's space for him to win a title, whether it's through Money in the Bank, whether it's through just winning an actual match later in the year, later in 2022. There's definitely space for it to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Resign and resign, folks. Please get it right.
I haven't seen any of this that you speak of, but also too, like that's a long-standing thing. People don't even know the difference between your, and your. So like, I don't know why you're expecting them to not know the difference between resign and resign.
I guess every year with NBA free agency. Like, dude, resign is different.
People are morons who don't have an actual grasp of the English language, especially in written form.
Correct.
That's just the thing.
And like I said, I'm just happy he's sticking around. I think, like I said, this run he's doing recently, I'm really into it. So and he puts on great matches still, man. He's still one of my favorite guys in the company. So glad he's sticking around.
They're stupid, and it's their prerogative to be there.
Right.
And a lot of people would not understand that I just said 3 different words.
You did. His WrestleMania opponent will be 6 other people in the United States title I don't give a fuck match.
You know, I'm sort of wondering, actually, if we get a TLC match at WrestleMania.
Like
do the full-on, like, TLC style, like, not Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank's its own pay-per-view come June.
But you could put one of
them. There was no TLC. So you've got room for a TLC match, whether it's for, like, the U.S. title or the IC title or something.
I feel like that's a match that they could hold for Edge.
I can see that.
But we'll see.
Okay. All right. Next topic, I guess. Say it again?
I said R.I.P. Judy Bagwell. I was just thinking about her on the poll.
Oh.
Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
That's right. All right. Next topic. I think that was Mike's topic, actually.
Yay, me.
Could be the trivia ready, so.
All right, hold on. Let me. I gotta get the Wrestler of the Week stuff also ready on my computer.
Let's do Wrestler of the Week.
No.
Oh, but we
I can do the rest of the week while you're still singing up the whole fucking thing.
All right, it's set up.
Let's do Wrestler of the Week.
You're so fucking random, dude. What's up with you today? You want the rest of the week, Mike? I don't give a fuck.
Shock the sphincter.
Shock the sphincter.
Shock the sphincter. All right. That's the one thing I miss. I miss the fucking theme song, bro. God damn.
It's too bad that there's no way they could get the rights to it for like in AEW.
No way.
Boom.
Yeah, he's got the boom.
You know, it'd be brilliant. It'd actually be brilliant, right?
What is it?
Tony Khan said recently that WWE's been in talks with him because they want to get some of their wrestlers to do interviews, like the way Jericho did the Stone Cold podcast, Broken Skull, like stuff like that. If Tony Khan comes at them and is like, you can have any of my wrestlers do any kind of documentary you want. I want the Undisputed Era theme song. That would be fucking awesome. Play your cards.
I like the Cambo.
Okay, so I guess for the rest of the week now.
One to show them.
Shake shit up. Let's go. Joe, go first since it was your idea.
Okay, fine. My number 3. No, I'm gonna start with my number 1. My number 1 is the aforementioned new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Jonathan.
The not white Jonathan.
The non-white. I can't believe he's not white. Jonathan Gresham. My number 2 are they have to be
12 time.
Yeah, the 12 times got to be the record, right?
I would assume so.
Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. These guys were on the very first Ring of Honor show back in 2002. They are on what might have been the last Ring of Honor show in 2021, and that is the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark.
Yep.
I can't wait till they show up in AEW or somewhere. That's going to be a thing that happens. And my number 3, so I assume that ended up having either Brian or Hangman somewhere on my list. But then they went to a draw, so I didn't have to make room for them. And it kind of fit for this week because I really wanted to fit this guy into my list. Sad story, sad that he's gone, RIP. But Jimmy Rave, I'm giving my number 3 spot to. A longtime fan. Obviously, he was, speaking of Ring of Honor, he was great in the Embassy. He was great. He had a great feud with AJ Styles back in the day. He had a little bit of time in TNA as part of the Rock and Rave connection. Great talent, really sad story. Sad that he's gone.
The Embassy is the level.
All right, Mike, wanna go next?
No.
Well, I made room for Paige Downs, and then I made room for them. Number 2. Number 3, Kevin Owens. Joe goes, "Was on the contract?" No, that's well, yeah,
you put him on your list.
Yeah, but also the whole fucking narrative around it, man. Honestly, I'm happy for the dude. Number 1, of course, the possibly last ROH champion, Jonathan Gresham, of course.
All right, my turn. Number 1, I have also the potential former and last Ring of Honor World Champion, Jonathan Gresham. At 2, I'm with Joe. I have the Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay, the 12-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. That's going to be a fun one with FTR whenever they fight. Maybe that'll be a ROH tag title match at Revolution.
Yep. Could be.
That will be at Ernest Won't.
Yes.
And at number 3, I have the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have a guy who's going to be fighting for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom. Give me Haramu Takahashi.
Nice.
All right, what's the updated standings? 3 weeks left for this year.
So I still have to put in January through June once I get those finally tabulated. But currently right now in first place is Roman Reigns with 42 points. Brian Danielson is in second place. He has 20. He moved up from like 4th. He has 26 points. Braun Breaker has 25. Becky Lynch has 24. Big E has 23. Hangman 22.5. Nikki Almost Superhero has 17.5. Randy Orton at 17, Sammy Guevara at 15, and MJF rounds out the top 10 with 13 points going into the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Sure.
You know the cue.
Robert Lashley is currently in a tie with one Phil from Chicago for 25th place.
They're not going to sell, are they? Fucking guys.
Well, Bobby's got some points coming up from February and March, I believe.
Oh, nice!
So we might see some shifting. We're definitely going to see some shifting in the top 10, but I don't know if anyone's catching Roman with getting a shit ton of points.
We got some Bobby points coming in. Bobby! All right. Anyway.
He's the Bobby Boucher.
That's our wacky ass rest of the week. Show's over, right? No, just kidding.
All right, guys. Good night.
Night, bye. No, time number 2. Let's go. Mike, your topic.
All right. So at the beginning of the show, I announced that myself, Joe, and Craig are going to Revolution March 6th from the University of Central Florida, home of the Golden Knights. Hey, J. Grove. So we're going to talk about Revolution and what our fantasy card would be for the show in Orlando. Obviously, after last night's 60-minute Broadway between the champion and the challenger, I said this on the 3-count show in the chat. I was talking to those guys, and I said, is Tony Khan just ripping off the Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega draw 105-minute like best 2 out of 3 falls match?
Oh, could be.
Blueprint, and we're gonna get them two at Revolution in like a 2 out of 3 fall no time limit match.
I wouldn't be mad at that
because I mean, basically, Battle of the Belts. I could just see the rematch happening in another draw.
True.
Or maybe even something weird like a double pin or something where it's
true.
We don't go the whole 60 minutes, but maybe we go like 35 or 40, and we end up with like a double pin or
I can see that.
Double count out, something crazy, and then it leads to the main event at Revolution being the two of them in that no time limit 2 out of 3 falls match, stuff like that.
Right.
But my thought process here is I want to fantasy book the Revolution card that you want to see
3 months out
when we go that he's not going to.
Fair.
Bitch.
Fuck you. I might get some good seats in the process.
Buddy, just hitchhike there. All right. So obviously you gotta have a world title match. You gotta have a tag title match. You have to have a women's title match, and I guess we're gonna say the other 3 matches because most of them have been 6-match cards.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a world title match. You gotta have a tag titles match. You gotta have a women's match, and you need 3 other matches on the show. You can use any of the title belts or anything else that you want to use from there. Somebody else go first.
I like to see blood and guts be used here at some point.
No, not
at that show.
One show, like one match with fucking the fucking. All of a sudden, with CM Punk had a union with Sting and Darby and whatever against another fucking faction.
Buddy, we just saw that like 2 weeks ago at War Games. A random team put together against another random team put together, and hey, here we are. MJF already won. The Pinnacle already won. Blood and Guts. Them being in it again just doesn't really feel like it's a.
What's just them though? It's another.
Buddy, because MJF ain't going to anybody else for his partners. Why would he go elsewhere? Does he not understand the way wrestling factions work?
No, he literally does not. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, okay. So give me your.
Let me put mine real quick. So what can be
give me your formal blood and guts match so I can just on it.
I know. No, I'm good. So we'll get Danielson and Page again. Let this set full, but we'll get another rematch. 2 again. Revolution. The Briscoes are coming. You sure they're coming to AEW before?
I think so.
They give me them against the Lucha Brothers tag team title match.
No. Okay.
No.
Just let him go. Let him go because I just came up with it.
That's fine. Okay.
Britt Baker against Thunder Rosa.
Has anyone ever told you that your head looks like your neck is just blowing a bubble?
Tiny bubble.
Well, what else we got there? TNT title. Okay, TBS title be in line too. Fucking hey, hold on.
I didn't say you had to put all the titles on the show. I just said you needed a world titles match.
That's the main one. The main one.
Tag.
The main one. TNT should go to good division though. What else I got there?
That title hasn't been defended on pay-per-view, I think, ever.
No.
Okay.
No, it was on the last show.
Was it?
Kingston wrestled Rusev for it.
The show before that. Before that.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara won it.
Yes.
He was not on the line.
Right.
Well, he was, but he was in the 5-on-5 match.
Yeah.
Was the defendant all out, wasn't it? Not
Yes, Miro beat Kingston.
Yes.
Oh shit. Britt Baker. Thunder Rosa said already.
You've given us the title matches.
All right. I'm fucking dead now. You guys go.
All right, I'll start. I'll give you. Okay, I'm going off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I prepared nothing.
I haven't either. I forgot this was my topic.
That's amazing.
I'm freestyling it.
That's amazing. Ernest, are you okay?
My head is blown up. Like you said.
No, you were frozen for a minute.
Oh no, I thought we thought you had shit and you just froze it.
No, I'm doing well.
Got a card
Jeopardy.
Just put it in the chair.
Yes. Every once in a while, it just hits the soundboard. It's fine.
Was
It's like Ferris Bueller.
He has a Jimmy rigged.
Yes, it's like Ferris Bueller. It's fine. Okay, so first of all, the match that I want to see on this card more than anything else, because like fuck it, we're fantasy booking, right? I want the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus the Undisputed Era.
I don't think we're getting Omega back that
not
quick.
this soon. That's
I'm
way too
o-
soon.
It could be his return match.
I don't think you're gonna get him back that quick.
I mean, but I want it.
For sure, but shoulder surgery is not something he's
True.
coming back from. And
But-
both shoulders.
Who could you put in his place if you wanted to do Elite versus
Cody?
Oh, easily.
You can get Cody in there, turn
You
Cody
can-
heel, have him like reunite
No.
with the Bucks.
No, the Bucks are the faces.
Party.
The Undisputed Era is going to be the heels in this.
You think so?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yes, Adam turns on the Bucks, makes them the genuine baby face.
True.
He gets revenge for them kicking him out of
Bullet Club.
Bullet Club. He gets revenge and basically says the fucking Elite's dead because the Elite's been me the entire time and I was somewhere else. And then you get Cody. They beat the Bucks and Cody, leading to Kenny coming back and saying you have to go through the final boss.
Okay. All right. So let's go with it. It's a group effort. So Cody and the Young Bucks versus Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first match on this card. Fucking, I want that match so badly.
Mhm.
It's not even funny.
Okay.
Okay.
How bad do you want it?
Bad.
So bad.
So bad.
Number 2, there's been a lot of talk about this whole 4 pillars of the company, and it's MJF, and it's Darby, and Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara.
Mhm.
Well, let's just have one of them in a match
For the TNT
for
title.
the TNT title.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I
Let's
like
do
it.
a 4-way dance with the future of the company.
I'm not opposed.
Let's make that happen.
I'm not opposed.
Okay. All right. My third match, I'm actually taking Bryan out of the world title picture. I don't think that we get to a third match, not at this show anyway. I think that there's room.
Mhm.
I want Bryan versus Punk. Give me the 2 legends. Give me them in the ring again for the first time since like 2012 or 2011 even. I don't even remember. It's one of those 2. But give me the 2 of them in the ring against each other. There's nothing really on the line. They could just go out there, have a fucking banger of a match. Yes, you can argue that whoever wins is in line for a title shot, or certainly probably ends up at like the number 1 or number 2 ranked spot or whatever. But give me the 2 of them in a classic. Give them 25 minutes. Let them just go.
Mhm.
Make that happen. All right? That's 3 matches, right? Okay. My match number 4, I feel like it books itself right now, but give me FTR and the Briscoes. Give me that. And granted, like, because I feel like it's doing it too soon if they try to do it at Battle of the Belts. Like, this feud just started. Maybe they do a match at Battle of the Belts, but that's just the beginning. Or maybe FTR wins the ROH tag team titles from them there, and then the Briscoes chase it to get it back or whatever. But give me those 2 teams against each other at this pay-per-view. That is something that I want. Give me what I want. If you're going to have Britt Baker defend the title in a match, let's just do it against Thunder Rosa again. And this one, I don't even know if that's the one that makes the most sense match wise, but it's the one that I'd want to see the most personally. So if we're going to be at the show anyway, like again, just give me what I want then, So there's your 5th match, right? And number 6, you obviously have to have Hangman Page defend the belt. I don't know offhand who I think I'd put him against in that. That's a tough one. Because I don't want Bryan again like that soon. Like I don't need that as the big pay-per-view match. But I'm not sure offhand who I think they have built up ready to go as like another person that Page gets to beat. Who would you? I don't know.
I mean, if he's going to get the win, I don't know that it matters if they're built up or not, because you could build them up over the next couple months.
It's true.
And a name that he could have a great match with, and it could be fun because you get the Dark Order involved in it, would be against Ricky Starks, because you could have Team Taz versus the Dark Order, and I think him and Ricky could have a good match. Obviously, we've locked up a bunch of the guys that you could go with. You could give him a Darby, you could give him an MJF. We've locked them up in other matches.
Here's one you could put him against. Jericho, who has not fought for the world title or
And
been in
he
that
did
scene
beat
for
Paige
years.
to win the
And he
title.
beat Paige to win the title, so you give Paige his win back all these years later. It's part of Paige's entire come-up story where he was all the way down and now he's coming back. Like, what's more of a comeback story than getting the wins back against the guys that you could not beat 2 years ago?
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I could also see we've locked up Cole O'Reilly and Fish.
Yes.
We've locked up the Bucks and Cody. We've locked up. I mean, it's.
I'm gonna go for my card, my 6th match, Jericho and Paige.
Right.
I think that makes sense as a world title match. It gets Jericho on the show, which I feel like you should have Jericho on the show.
Yeah.
It definitely is someone that Paige will beat. You can even have a little bit of a build-up where Jericho, like, runs the ranks to get to number 1 and all of that. The promos alone would be great because he could be out there being like, you've never beaten me, yada, yada, yada. I think that's got a lot of fire. And my 7th match, my bonus match, QT Marshall versus Mark Henry. Let's just do it.
God damn you son of a.
Yeah.
It'll be fast. It's
Why?
fine. It's fine. It'll be fast.
Yeah, show it.
Let it happen. It's fine.
No.
No.
That's what you tell people before that they don't want. No.
It's just
No
a
means
match.
no, sir.
It's just a match so Ernest can run to the bathroom. It's fine.
No.
Ernest won't miss anything
All right.
as he runs down the Hershey Highway.
Mr. Sarcasm, yeah. I don't care.
All right. My card in our pre-show match on the buy-in event, I will have Jade Cargill defend the newly minted TBS championship against Tay Conti.
I'm that bitch.
Number 1 match, I will have a
8-way, 12-way.
I'm gonna have and this again.
15-way.
Okay, this is a car crash. I know it's gonna be a car crash, but it's that car crash that when I list who's gonna be in the match, it's gonna be a fun car crash. I'm having a 5-team double title ladder match.
Oh God.
With the winners walking out with both the Ring of Honor and the AEW World Tag Team titles.
Oh good Lord.
It'll be the AEW Tag Champion, the Lucha Bros, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, the Briscoe Brothers. It will be the tag team pairing of FTR.
Sorry.
Don't die, Joe, please. Thank you.
As our 3rd team. Our 4th team in this. Wait, hold on. Did I do that right? FTR.
Are you over mathing?
No, I'm not over mathing because I'm gonna put. Do I put them in there? Yeah, you know what? Fuck. I'm gonna put. Obviously, we're gonna put the return of John Moxley with his tag team partner Eddie Kingston as team number 4. And team number 5. I'm gonna do something crazy here because I think that March is enough time to figure out what the fuck's going on. Because if his drug test really does come back clean, then it's really random on why he quit WWE or got released. Give me the Hardy Boys in this match.
I've heard rumor, and I don't want to give
branch off of that.
I don't want to give any validity to this rumor, but I've heard rumor that he might have been faking like the whole drug thing just so that they fire him. Like easy way to get out of his contract so that he could end up in AEW with his brother.
I mean, I know he has a 90-day no-compete clause, but that would be up before Revolution.
Exactly.
Yeah, give me that. Give me the Hardys, FTR, Kingston and Moxley.
I like it.
The Briscoes and Lucha Bros in a 5-team winner-take-all ladder match.
I like it.
So I have that. I had the pre-show match between Jade and I had Tay Conti. Give me, for the Women's Championship, give me Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You guys like the match with Thunder Rosa. I think she gets Thunder Rosa before that.
Okay.
Give me Anna Jay as her opponent.
Okay.
I think 2 of them could have a fun little match. Maybe we see the Dark Order get the women's title and get their actual first real title. That was the 5th team that I went back and forth on. Was putting Stu and Dose in there, or Stu and Uno, but I decided against them.
Fair.
World title match. I mean, I would love for it to be the 2 out of 3 falls match between Paige and Brian, because I don't think putting us to an hour with no victor is the way that we're going to go through this time, at least on the pay-per-view. So give me Paige versus Brian in the 2 out of 3 falls match. where we get an actual distinct winner. So that's the world, the tag. All right, so I have, 3 more matches?
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon. Give me Adam Cole versus CM Punk.
Ooh.
And give me Sammy Guevara defending the TNT title.
Organa?
I mean, that would be a good one, but I'm going to have him defend it against the Ring of Honor World Champion, Jonathan Gresham.
Ooh, I like it.
Oh.
I mean, I know I left some people off the show, like
but
Jericho,
you're going to. There's two.
and Darby.
The
and stuff
roster's
like that.
too big to not leave people.
I mean,
off.
it's fascinating. None of us put Darby in a match.
I did. I had him in the 4-way.
Oh, you had him in the 4-pillar. You had him in the 4.
But I didn't have like the Lucha Brothers on my show.
Correct.
I didn't have the tag titles. I didn't have Miro. None of us had Miro.
Well, I kind of said you had to have a tag title match.
Yes.
I mean,
well, I put the Ring
of Honor.
I put the Ring of Honor tag titles. Yeah. Loophole. Loophole fiasco.
See, I mean, that's
good.
Here's the thing. When you look at this roster right now, we just ran off the list, and neither of you had Kingston.
No, I wanted him.
Neither of you had Moxley.
I considered Kingston for my world title match.
I considered Moxley for mine if I took.
Oh, see, I didn't even think about Moxley because I don't know that he'll be back by then.
March, I think you got a good shot at getting him back for.
Possibly.
Like, no, I don't think he's showing up for Battle of the Belts. Like,
right.
No, that's probably out of the equation. But him back by the first weekend in March, I could see that being in play.
Well, I know Renee was off weeks off the podcast, and she got back recently. So.
Okay.
So again, I just thinking about, like, we don't have, like, none of us had Miro. Only you had Darby. Only I had Kingston and Moxley. You know, you're the only one that had Jericho.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it from the perspective of how deep on paper the AEW roster really is at points, I had to put 5 teams in one match to get 10 guys on the show.
Yeah. Because
I think 8 out of those 10 guys deserve to be on the fucking show. The only 2 that I'm really reaching for are the Hardys.
Right.
So that's proven this roster's too fucking big. Once again,
it's too big for what they're trying to do, and Joe has hit the nail on the head here. Tony Khan is booking ECW with no budget.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is ECW had a roster this big, and you were going weeks without seeing talent unless they cut a vignette or unless they cut a promo, or unless they put like the splice in on the TV show where you saw them cutting a promo on who they're wrestling in 3 weeks on, Hardcore TV. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's so deep. And it's like, oh, well, we have 2 shows. You have a 2-hour show on a Wednesday night, and you have an hour show on a Friday night.
Right.
And the hour show on a Friday night this week, you have, like, 4 multi-man matches on. This is literally just trying to get guys on TV in some way, shape, or form. I'm sorry. You blew it up too quick. It's bloated. And you got away with a mediocre women's division for so long that you signed every male free agent talent that you could get your hands on.
Yep.
And now you're so saturated in that market that you're not being able to give guys who you've really kind of built the company around adequate television time.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's smart that Cody's taking kind of a sabbatical and kind of been with his kid and his wife and all that stuff, because Cody be taking TV time from somebody.
You know who none of us had on our cards? Malachi Black.
No, and I think because of that retarded ass angle that he's doing with the fucking varsity blondes right now, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a hard reset for him, if this is like, oh, well, the blondes are going to be like this, and he's going to go bring in like Buddy Murphy to be his running mate or something,
right.
In House of Black or whatever it is. I don't know. There's questions here long term that I feel like we could do a complete look through the male roster, and you've got to cut however many people and get your roster down to this many people who you getting rid of.
Right.
Like, hey, that might be a fucking topic next week, guys. So start looking at the AEW roster.
Didn't we play that game before? Didn't I do that once?
I don't know if we really played that game. I think it turned into we were like,
was like 5 people you'd fire.
Yeah, no. But I'm gonna go. You need to cut the roster down to this many names. Like, what are your names?
Okay.
Like, here you go. You got 20 names. Pick them.
Right.
But
Brandon Cutler. Gone.
No, because in 3 hours, how many guys are you really able to get on TV?
Right.
They're not a touring brand. They don't have house shows. So half of these guys are staying in ring shape by working indie shows.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Garcia is working like every company on the East Coast while being a contracted wrestler for AEW because he can't get in ring time on AEW shows.
It's valid.
What are we doing?
Well, like I said, this year
It's too much.
they're saying 2022 will be a lot of cuts. A lot of cuts.
Maybe.
No. It won't be cuts. It'll just be that they didn't re-sign people,
Right.
so they don't have to take the backlash of.
You get some many big swolls coming up.
But they won't get any backlash from the IWC because
Okay.
hey,
It
we
ain't
just
Vince.
mutually part ways.
It ain't Vince, that's why. So
Obviously,
all right.
duh. Like hello.
Yep. All right. I guess one more thing to go. Well, actually, no, Joe. What do you love this week?
I didn't think of anything.
Jeez,
What do you love?
Should we just cut this segment?
No, sometimes I do it.
What Joe loves this week is you having the shits.
No, I don't.
I'm okay right now, actually.
He loves that for you.
I
Don't.
think we're bringing Black Power rankings to next year.
Black Power rankings?
Yes, he did.
The hell's Black Power rankings?
All right, explain it to him.
Ranking the 3 best black wrestlers of the week.
That's weird.
Hey.
But we already ranked the 3 best wrestlers of the
No, we
week.
don't. We're changing that. Remember?
Ranking 3 black wrestlers.
What about ranking 3 Asian wrestlers and calling it the holy shit?
Riho wins every single week if that's the case.
You're an idiot.
Wait, okay, unrelated. Well, what if we did like 3 women's wrestlers?
Wait, hold on. Because my wife. Hold on.
Like,
hi, honey. Love you.
Men's.
Huh? Okay.
She's asking if he's got a shit.
You want to have sex? Okay, cool.
Bro,
What?
she said I want to have sex with you in like 5 years.
Yo,
How old is Logan?
Right now?
How old is Logan?
How old's Logan? It's 4. It's been 4 years.
Yeah. I like that. I like that you have 2 kids. It proves that you got him laid twice.
Hey. Gotta hit it sometimes, right?
Apparently, at least twice.
We're gonna joke here. These 2.
Oh, he's getting in trouble.
The fat one and the short one,
He's getting in trouble.
You know who they are. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, did you see that?
Alright.
I love you.
Is my topic?
Yeah, wait, topic meantime.
Okay, my topic.
Your
So
topic.
I thought this would be a fun
Sure.
one.
Yours a hot topic. Get it? Ooh, like that. Ooh, like
Hot
that.
There are 90 male wrestlers currently on the AEW roster.
Male wrestlers?
I think that's it, to be honest.
Yeah, male wrestlers.
Holy
I just
fuck.
counted it. I just counted it on Wikipedia. If you go on their thing,
Wiki Wawa.
you can't see it because of the stupid
Oh, that's
background.
funny.
But yeah, no. If you go on it and you go to their list of personnel, I just counted out 90 names. I could cut that roster down to like 40, like right now, and make it so much better.
Yes, I agree with you.
We might play that game.
No,
Okay, so my topic this week.
All right, cool.
It's 2012. You're you. For Ernest, I'm sorry.
For me, I just got married. A year into marriage. We just got pregnant with Eli in August. Yeah, shit, damn.
Someone comes to you and explains to you what the wrestling landscape is in 2012, in 2021, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What is your reaction? 2012 you. Someone comes to you and goes, look, you're not going to believe me when I tell you all this, but there's a whole other company that's like almost like, remember WCW versus WWE? It's almost like that again. They're on TNT. Chubby Chris Jericho is their first world champion. Dusty Rhodes' son. No, not that one. The other one. He's like the executive vice president of the company, and he's had the first ever mixed race baby. The Young Bucks, you know, that tag team out of California that like is the best tag team in the world. Realistically, they were in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
They are like also executive vice presidents of the company. And you know that dude that wrestles with blow up dolls and sometimes it's called John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Mm-hmm.
He's also one of the executive vice presidents of the company. No, he's not executive vice president. He just
Who was that?
What does he do?
No, he is. I'm just.
Okay.
I was just saying.
Dustin?
Okay.
Dustin?
What?
No.
Omega.
Oh, I know that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
You didn't know he fucks Rio?
I mean, I just assume.
No, no.
So, but you know, someone comes to you and explains to you all that. They explain to you where WWE is right now. They tell you that Kevin Steen is one of the big stars in WWE, and El Generico, who no longer wears a mask, is one of the big stars in WWE.
How dare he take off that mask?
And
The orphans hell.
Adam Cole has become one of their big stars, and Triple H basically booked a super indie using WWE's money for like 6 years until Vince McMahon realized what the fuck was going on and shut it down. And now Rick Steiner's son is the big star of that brand. That's a thing that happens. And Ring of Honor goes out of business. That's the thing that also happens. And John Cena somehow making movies now. Like, he's not even around anymore. He's just making all the movies and shit like that. But you know who's still around? Brock fucking Lesnar. Like once a month, every 6 months.
Came back 2012 too.
Bjork Lesnar.
Bjork Lesnar. He's a fucking lumberjack now. You didn't see that shit coming.
Bjork Lesnarson, the lumberjack.
Like, this is all of 2021 wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Someone comes to you in the year 2012 and explains to you all of this. What is your reaction? And for fun, what's the one thing that you actually are like, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. That actually totally makes sense.
All right. So you broke down some things. First off, I would understand that Steen would be part of the WWE roster because I thought Kevin Steen should have been there probably, quote, sooner because, he's really good.
Okay.
So, give me Steen. I'll take – that one wouldn't have surprised me. Another company probably would have surprised me because I didn't know that there was someone that would want to put that much money into building something.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to explain to you also that, like, the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars is the guy funding the company.
Just Urban Meyer last night. Yeah,
Smart.
Good job, Shad.
Yeah. So that would have surprised me. It also would have surprised me that John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt would have been one of the executive vice presidents, but I digress. I think the other things that you mentioned were what was it that?
Well, Chris Jericho's like their first champion. And...
Well, I can see Jericho to an extent because, well, he doesn't. I don't know what he'd be doing with Fozzy and all that. The thing I guess that I say that wouldn't have surprised me is if you would have came to me in 2012 and told me that Kofi Kingston would have won a world title by now, I would have been surprised that it was only one, but I wouldn't be surprised that he won one.
What about Big E?
I'm surprised.
What if I told you Big E is the current WWE World Champion?
I don't know that I'd be surprised by that.
Okay.
He's always had like the physique and the look.
Yes.
And if you tell me that he became a really good promo, or at least a decent promo, serviceable enough promo, I would have been like, yeah, he would have been world champion.
I can see that.
Maybe even a multi-time world champion.
Yeah.
The one try and true I will say him on my end. I mean, I wasn't watching 2012, but going back looking at the rosters.
Don't you die, Private.
So the Shield debuted 2012 also, right? Am I not mistaken?
Yes, I believe so.
No doubt Roman Reigns will be the top guy. I had no doubt. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Roman Reigns.
I don't know that I would have.
Look alone. Just on the look alone.
Buddy, their 19 debut, they came in turtlenecks and fucking Kevlar pants.
No, I can actually agree with Ernest on that one. I feel like Roman had something about him that did. It made you think he would be. It was the long hair. It's because the fact he looks like Scar from The Lion King.
I have no doubt all three guys
about him.
There's no doubt that all three guys actual.
See, at the end of the day, like I don't know that the night that the three of them debuted,
You thought that?
That would have been the guy that I went with because I know Rollins, I know Moxley.
I mean, yes, valid.
I don't know
No.
that you would have sold like
I-
him being outside looking in, not watching indie promotions. He may be able to see that because obviously he doesn't know who either the fucking three of them are.
Right.
But we watched Tyler Black be the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Right.
We watched Moxley win the CZW World Title. I don't know that I would have thought that the tall Samoan looking fellow would have been the one that would have been the bigger out of the three of them just because of who he was paired with.
True.
No doubt all three guys would been major stars 10 years later.
That I would 100%
No doubt.
agree with. But
Actually, I thought Seth would be the bigger star of anything. I actually would have predicted Seth to be the bigger star.
That's what I'm saying. I would have said that Seth would have been the bigger one, and that's where I would have held. It would have been
Right.
Seth and then Mox and then Samoa Girl Scout Cookie.
Okay.
2012. Fuck. What else was going on in 2012? Brock came back that year, right?
Brock came back in 2011.
No, 12. 12. It was 12.
Here's one that I
Brock, WrestleMania, actually.
answer. Phil from Chicago.
Yes.
Oh.
He was the top guy at that point.
Where would you have thought that he would have quit and been, I'm taking my ball and going home for
No.
7 or 8 years?
No.
No,
That surprised
probably
me.
not.
That really surprised me. Like
It
the whole
surprised me.
time.
It surprised me that he was gone for that long.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like
Like,
I could have
him
seen him being
leaving,
off like
like-
6 months.
Him, like, even if he took a year, like
Mhm.
to get his back fixed and get healthy and get the infection out, like took a year to just decompress. Like I always expected, and maybe it was the fact that there was no company that could afford the number that he wanted.
Right.
Because I know Punk's always been like, well, I'm not going back to wrestling. Like I'm not doing it.
Right.
And it's right because nobody was offering him the money that he was worth, let alone the money that Vince was offering him whenever Vince was paying him.
Right.
Maybe that's kind of the reason behind it. But I've always been like, if you would have told me, hey, Phil's gone and he's not coming back for a while,
I was
And-
shocked.
and it's after he held the world title for like the longest since like Bruno San Martino or whatever the fuck it was. Like I'd have been like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like there's no way that Phil's leaving.
What-
Phil's like the biggest act in the fucking company.
So in that same vein,
Mhm.
with Punk, what single pro wrestler, if someone explained to you the trajectory that their career took from 2012 to now, which one would surprise you the most?
Negative or positive?
I think
In any way,
I
positive,
see,
negative.
See, I think that there's two different ways to answer that question.
Okay.
I think there's people that you could say that are positive, and then there's people like negative.
Right.
Like if you look at it in 2012, like the fact that Dolph Ziggler hasn't become more of a main event
Yeah.
person in that company would have been a fucking shock to me.
Yes.
'Cause
Yes.
that guy was.
Dude, I was going to say that too. Dolph Ziggler.
I mean, he should be a guy who's wrestling in main events and being a main part of shows, and he's left to be a tag team with Robert Roode.
See, my answer would be Brian Danielson, because
Brian Danielson.
Brian, because like here you do, like in 2012 he's underrated in WWE, but at
Correct.
least getting pushed. He was world champion, yada yada yada. But the next 10 years of his career includes him winning 2 matches at the same WrestleMania and winning the world title.
Mhm.
Being forced into retirement,
Mhm.
becoming a general manager on the company, and becoming a great promo, which was
Mhm.
never his strong suit, not when he
No.
was in Ring of Honor, any of that stuff.
No.
Coming out of retirement, having one of the best runs as a heel
Mhm.
as champion after that, wrestling fantastic matches against just about everybody, and then leaving the company to go become one of the main guys over in the competition that almost seems like
That
a
part was
shot
surprising.
in the dark that it even exists.
That part was surprising me too, because like we were saying here on this podcast, even months before he left WWE, that he felt like a lifer.
Right. But not only do you feel like a lifer, but like the fact that he had that period of time where he was literally retired and probably never wrestling again.
Right.
Like that would have been surprising to me if you told me that was going to happen.
Same with Edge.
And then came back. Same with Edge. Right, exactly. Like when Edge was 2011 was when he retired.
But I'm saying if you would have told me in
That he'd come
2011
back.
that he was going to come back, win the Royal Rumble, be in the main event of
Yeah.
WrestleMania, I would have told you you're out of your fucking mind.
Right.
Shocker, absolutely.
Right.
honestly a positive career trajectory. And I'm just going to dispute it's Randy Orton.
Fair.
Ability. Yep.
I mean, he had, like I said, like we talked about him last week, hasn't been hurt. He's always been there. He's a serviceable piece when you need him for a world title match. You know, you get good matches out of him. Same with Ziggler. Like, if you look at the Ziggler Orton career path, like, those guys, like, yeah, Orton should be a step ahead of Ziggler, but he's like 6 miles ahead of Ziggler.
Right.
And, like, that's a shock to me because Dolph was having such good matches in 2011 and 2012 and even in 2013.
Yeah.
Like, so to see, like, oh, we're starting in 2012 and you see Ziggler going this way and moving up the trajectory chart, and all of a sudden it's just like the whole bottom dropped out. And it's just like, what the fuck just happened?
Would you believe that AJ Styles would debut in WWE and become one of their main,
No, I would have assumed that he was staying in Impact his entire career.
Okay.
I would have thought he was the lifer there.
Fair.
And that's not because I don't think AJ is a serviceable and a really good wrestler. I just thought AJ was comfortable with his ability to make the money that he needed to make for his family there.
Right.
He didn't have to tour. They were only doing their TV tapings, kind of like what Ring of Honor was doing there towards the end with COVID, and like what AEW does now with all their shows. It's you didn't have to go to Bismarck, North Dakota, and then South Dakota the next day, and then Wyoming the day after that, like you do in WWE at points. So that's one of those where I just would have assumed that he was comfortable where he was at. I thought he probably would have stayed. I definitely wouldn't have put Shinsuke Nakamura on my list of guys that I thought was leaving New Japan to come from WWE. That one, if you would have told me Shinsuke left and was now the king and coming out with, or the old king coming out with Rick Boogs playing fucking guitar and him and Pat McAfee fucking doing dances, I'd have been like, you're out of your fucking mind, dude. What are you smoking? Because give me some.
I'll tell you what, Big E being champion, not surprised. Kofi winning the belt, I've been surprised.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that I would have surprised that either one of them would have had a world title run by now. As much as we give Vince shit for, Vince has always been if you take care of me, I take care of you kind of guy.
True.
And I think Vince would have at least respected Kofi enough to give him a title run by now. May not have been a long one, may not have been one that we'll remember, but I mean, Jack Swagger got a title run. I think we would have gotten Kofi one. I think, like, I would have been, like, super surprised if you would have told me that Triple H booked an entire fucking Super Indie for 5 years for real, for not Vince knowing about it.
For real.
I think I would have been super surprised if you would have told me that Triple H single-handedly brought back the Cruiserweight Classic and turned that into a fun tournament that they did, and then they turned it into the Mae Young Classic. Like, I'd have been surprised. Because when I think tournaments, all I really think about is the Best of Super Juniors and New Japan Cup.
Definitely not anything in WWE.
And here's the thing. It's not a North American thing. Like, when you think about it, like, Europeans are the ones that have, like, those tournaments and Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Because they even have them in their soccer leagues where it's like, okay, well, you guys are going to play a round robin, and then you're going to play a tournament, and then then we're going to determine who wins it from there. Like, they do the group play and stuff like that. Like, we don't get those kind of tournaments in WWE or even AEW. Like, I'd love for AEW to put 8 tag teams in a thing and do, like, World Tag League.
Right.
Like, sign me up for it. Like, I would fantasy book the fuck out of that. Give me the Smash Brothers. Give me a couple teams from the Hardy family offering. Give me the tag champions. Give me the Briscoes. You could bring in a tag team from maybe, like, New Japan Strong, you know, and give them some publicity and stuff like that. Like, yeah, sign me up for all of that. It's like, I would love to see a round robin tournament in a North American promotion, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Right. No, Ring of Honor is gone. They would have been the most likely plays.
Here's one, not wrestling related, but Michael Cole on broadcasting still. I
wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, no.
The amount of turnover they've had over the course of the last 10, 15 years of commentators.
But I always felt that Vince liked Cole. Because even when he was like that dorky, like annoying announcer, Vince kept putting him out there whenever he was just ready to replace whoever.
True.
He never really replaced Cole. He let Cole just go through the motions and learn with Taz and do the stuff that he was doing. So I don't know that I would have believed that if you told me that, like, he wasn't there.
Fair.
I'm trying to think who else in this roster.
I mean, if you would have told me to my face that Samoa Joe's career trajectory would have been like
Right.
Impact to NXT to being the NXT champion to going to the
Fighting
main
for the
roster,
WWE title.
fighting for the title, to then having injuries take it from him, to him being released, to him being re-signed, to him basically being forced out due to injury again.
Right.
I'd be like, yeah, all right, you're out of your fucking mind, bud.
What if I told you about Hook?
Send Hook.
What if I was like, yo, you're not going to believe it, but Taz's fucking son is like the most over guy on Friday Night Wrestling.
I just want to play the soundbite of Punk. Just send Hook.
Oh my god.
I sent that in the group chat earlier. In the fantasy draft one.
Okay.
Nobody laughed at it. I was very upset. I hate all of you with a fire
bitches.
passion.
I think that's it.
I'm satisfied on my topic.
Send Hook.
Yeah, look at his roster of 2012. I was like, yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Mention the guys that we need to mention. Yeah. Kelly? No, I'm just kidding.
Santino Marella.
You're right.
Oh my god.
Sin
You know, I
Cara.
just realized. No, wait. I just realized with him saying Kelly. You'd have to explain the entire women's revolution to somebody.
Ooh.
2012 was not the women's revolution.
facts.
But Sasha Banks was not a thing. Charlotte was not a thing.
Could you imagine telling someone?
She was on the roster, though.
Hey, by the way,
WrestleMania
Ric Flair's daughter
headlines WrestleMania.
turned into the female version of him by being a 97-time champion by the time she turned like 30. Can you believe that?
Would you believe that there was a women's match that headlined Wrestlemania? Two.
In 2012, no, I wouldn't believe that.
No, not as bad as that women's division was. I'd
Right.
be like, did they decide to put a fucking alien on the moon or something? Like
that's interesting. Explaining the women's revolution to somebody.
I mean, not that there wasn't enough female talent on the indies that
like Shimmer was a thing.
If they could have signed some that it wasn't out of the realm, but there would have been zero confidence that WWE would have been able to do the right thing. I would be like, they're gonna fuck this up.
Would you have been surprised that we had not a competition, but an alternative to WWE 10 years later? An actual alternative.
No, because I feel like Ring of Honor was an alternative that no one thinks because they just weren't on national television.
Alternative. They had alternatives.
There was alts all over the place.
Whether or not there would be someone as big as AEW.
I mean, to be honest with you, Impact.
At least
Impact was on cable television for a while. Impact was a very, very, very strong alternate for a long time.
Right.
It wasn't they didn't have an alternative. They didn't have an alternative to the level of WCW to go against them for the first however long of the 2000s. So at the end of the day, I think the more the question would be, are you surprised that there's another nationally syndicated on par money-wise with WWE? And I would probably have told you I don't think that that's going to be a thing that's reality.
Right.
Unless New Japan moved to the United States and put like a ton of their money from the Japan thing into the U.S. market, like I don't see where that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Alrighty. I think that's it. We did all the side stuff already, so.
See, I'm smart. I played this card right.
You played it right. Any final thoughts? We go.
Final thoughts. We're gonna announce the topics for the awards ceremony real quick.
All right, you go do that. I'm gonna use the restroom.
All right. We have storyline of the year. We have show of the year.
It's a new one.
We have women's wrestler of the year.
Don't forget to say the name of the feud of the year.
We have AEW and WWE wrestler of the year.
Wow, subredding, huh?
We have tag team of the year. We have the Hulk Hogan Paul Orndorff feud of the year award.
Yes.
And last but not least, the thing that we're doing the rankings for. I didn't ask either of you how you feel about this, so deal with it because I don't care. The Wrestler of the Year award will now be known moving forward as the John Huber Wrestler of the Year award.
I like it.
Or we can change it to the Mr. Brody.
I like it a lot.
We could change it to the Mr. Brody Lee Wrestler of the Year award if you want, but I just felt like his whole name made sense. So that's the topics for the award ceremony. That'll be the last show of this year. So Wrestlers of the Week, we're going to change that format as well, and we're going to go to more of a monthly scoring system here on the show. Each week, we're still going to nominate 2 wrestlers. Once that wrestler is nominated for the month, they cannot be nominated again. So you can't nominate Roman Reigns 4 times. And then so basically every month there's going to be probably let's see, what's that? 2, 4, 6. That's 24 wrestlers. So 24 wrestlers a month are going to be ranked. Obviously, you can rank somebody every month if you feel like they deserve points in every month, but you're going to rank just for what they did that month. We're going to come up with our own power rankings, and then you're going to award points to everybody based off of where they are on the average of all 3 of our power rankings. So if you have Roman at 1, I have Roman at 7, and Joe has Roman at 4, we're going to add all those points together, and we're going to list them off by points. Whatever their average is, and then we'll keep track of it, and we'll keep you guys updated as the months progress so that you can see who has a shot at being in the Wrestler of the Year conversation. Because obviously that's going to be something, and then we're going to do AEW and WWE Wrestler of the Year, which is more of an argumentative, and you can make an argument for your
curiosity. Why'd you split it up though?
Why did I split what up?
The companies.
Just because I wanted to be able to where we can pay, like we could do a Wrestler of the Year, but obviously we already have that with the point total. Mm-hmm. So I figured just splitting them up, we'd be able to give each company its own formatted award to where we think, and then like if we want to take whoever wins first for each company and then compare and contrast them. I thought it was better just to go the route of the company, because we have Wrestler of the Year and then we have Women's Wrestler of the Year, obviously with our topic. So like we're gonna have those 2 awards. So why not have AEW and WWE Wrestler of the Year? Because it very well, like Roman's gonna win the point thing 99% sure, but Roman may not win our conversation for WWE Wrestler of the Year because it might be a Bianca Belair, or it might be a Bobby Lashley, or it might be a, something weird like that, and there's not a lot of carryover between the 2. Like how do you rank somebody like Daniel Bryan? He started the year in WWE, ends up losing, but wins at Elimination Chamber, but then gets pinned and stacked at WrestleMania. So it's one of those things where I just decided to go AEW Wrestler of the Year, WWE Wrestler of the Year, just to balance it out.
Did you finish the call? That guy Ernest is the worst. Oh shit! Hi Ernest.
Oh hey.
Oh,
he's still here.
It's all good, right?
No, I want to go home.
Go home. See you later.
Sweet. Good night, Ernest.
Good night, buddy. Later, guys.
All right, dude.
There.
Later.